For the past few years, the high school administration has encouraged teachers to shadow a student for a day to gain a different perspective on student life at JIS. I had the opportunity to participate this year and was asked to focus on the following questions. What are the biggest takeaways from your day of shadowing? And how will this day change your classroom practice at JIS? I chose to shadow a 10th grade student who was new to the school. When I looked at his schedule, I tried to find a day when he had 5 classes in a row to help me experience what it's like to go through the school day with no blocks off. As I prepared for the day, I looked at his schedule and tried to map out his classes. With such a big campus, it's easy to have classes spread far apart, so I wanted to be prepared. I knew we'd be starting in the high school gym for health, then we'd move over to the H module for academic English, before heading over to the G module for global perspectives. He said he eats in the Wantalon for lunch, then we'd head to the A module for Spanish, before returning to H module for Learning Strat's last block. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I was excited to get a glimpse into the day of a life of a high school student. I met him before school and traveled to his first class with him. I sat through 5 75-minute classes with him and traveled from one class to the next with him. Over the course of the day, what did I learn about the life of a student at JIS? First, hydration. We know proper hydration is essential for brain function, but our students do not drink enough water. Although he carried a water bottle around with him, I only saw him consume approximately 250 milliliters of water over the course of the day. I, on the other hand, drank at least 3 liters from the Nalgene that I kept refilling. One goal I have is to create an intentional water break during each lesson. 2. Movement. Like hydration, movement is incredibly important for our health. Apart from moving from one class to the next, he didn't leave his seat more than once over the course of the day. I take for granted the amount of movement my job allows, and it was tiring to spend an entire day in a chair. Another goal I have is to incorporate at least 3 intentional opportunities for movement into each lesson. Third, turtles. I couldn't help but compare our students to turtles as I watched them lug everything on their backs all day. With a campus as large as ours, students don't have time to stop at lockers to unload from one class and load up for the next. Without a home base, they stuff their backpacks with everything they need for the day. They unload and set up their home at the beginning of class, then pack up and move on at the end of the period. Again, I take for granted the space I have in my office to create a home base, to spread out my belongings, to keep a stash of chocolate, and to post pictures of my family. It's difficult for our students to predict everything they will need for the day ahead, so I hope to be more forgiving when students come to class without one of their materials. Finally, belonging. On the first day of school, I asked students to write down their strengths, challenges, and goals. The student I shadowed wrote making friendships as one of his challenges, and his goal was to have a BFF. We were 6 weeks into the school year when I shadowed him. During lunch, I stood with him as he added money to his campus account and as he waited in line for food. When we finally arrived at the table where he meets his friends each day, he turned to me and said, "Okay, you can go now." It was the best rejection I've ever experienced. I had spent the day observing this student as he diligently took notes in class, as he researched obesity and human rights, as he added assignments to his planner for the next day. This moment, however, made me realize that there is more to school than academics. Our students want to belong. They want to connect with others. They want to feel like they're a part of something. Although we as educators can't force connections between students, we can create safe environments and opportunities that allow students to feel a sense of belonging. This student had found his people, and all the A's in the world were nothing compared to having a BFF. I know the day of shadowing only gave me a tiny glimpse into the life of one student at JIS, but I'm grateful for the new perspective I have. We ask a lot of our students on a daily basis, and I have a new respect for the time, energy, and effort our students put forth each day.